In Consumer Corner, we'll take a look at trends and products creating a buzz here in China. On today's show, we'll discuss how recent spot ticket price increases have some unforeseen dire consequences for one ancient city. A few years ago, the Chinese government issued a document that declared it would put a stop to the overloaded prices at most scenic spots. The issue ordered that no tourism resorts in China can raise their ticket prices for the next 3 years. However, it turns out to be an effective way for scenery operators to take advantage by dramatically raising the ticket prices every 4 years. 2013, the year the operators called Profits Coming Year, the country has seen a nationwide rise in scenic spot ticket prices. However, the icing on the cake was that of the most controversial scenic spot of the year. The distinction goes to Fenghuang Ancient City. In English, it's Phoenix City, which went from being absolutely free, leaping up to $24 in a single bound. However, the new price change actually had a palpable monetary advantage for tourists. The local government had added an extra scenic spot in the attraction, which once separately charged for $17 into the included existing already 9 spots. This meant that the total fees still remained the same as before, $24. Therefore, travelers can now pay the same amount of money to visit 10 spots rather than only 9 spots as they had in previous years. The only difference now is that they have to pay first when they walk into the gates of Phoenix City. But before, people could choose whether or not to view all 9 spots or only wander around inside of the city itself. Now people have to be forced to pay $24 regardless of whether they want to view those 10 spots or not. Ironically, not only have the visitors, but also the merchants inside the city stand in opposition to the new increase as well. Many merchants decided to go on strike after suffering through a day of almost no income on April 10th. However, merchants there were subdued by riot police with the charge of disruption of the peace in the scenic spot. Some of the merchants were even violently injured during the brutal suppression. If it were not for the imperative to make a living, would there be any incentive for them to have taken such a risk? Regrettably, the most adversely affected group by this price plan adjustment was neither the visitors nor the merchants, but rather the residents of Phoenix City themselves. One of the residents complained that although the local government promised them that as long as residents finish the compulsory related applications for entering Phoenix City, they can simply swipe their ID cards and gain free access, their daily lives would not be disrupted. Unfortunately, the government never carried out its promise. Now those residents not only have to pay $24 every time they go in and out to buy groceries or even pay just to come back after a long day's work. Another slap in the face is that if their relatives want to pay them a visit, they literally will have to pay to visit them. Exactly $24 each time, unless there happens to be a special circumstance such as a wedding or a funeral. Some netizens sarcastically described the local government as being a gold digger and posted, quote, "Do not complain about the prices, you ungrateful people. Our government has been too kind to us by waiving fees for us to enjoy the intermittent sunshine, breathe the polluted air, drink water that isn't potable, not to mention that some of us have been greedy enough to use their solar power in order to heat up water without paying for it. How generous our government has been already. Now some place wants to start charging for a ticket and you guys begin to complain? Such impudence." However, some people believe that $24 was not that expensive. Compared to the U.S. or other Western countries, our prices are indeed higher. However, compared to other scenic spots within our country, $24 is comparatively cheap for visiting a whole town. In that way, no complaints should be made considering that our beloved government may, on a whim, become unpleasant and decide to raise the price even more. There's also some netizens that contended that charging for tickets may invoke some bad influence on the ancient city. Quote, "Taking advantage of ticket prices is kind of like the behavior of killing chickens for their eggs. Besides, the credibility and the image of the local government, as well as the ancient city, is threatened to be tarnished." Maybe the best way to gain profits, along with not doing any harm to the well-being of residents and merchants, would be to hold some sort of symposium to explore other avenues of keeping the ancient city and those who reside in it prosperous and content.